Yo, 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 this is Jared Gray, aka Boomer, with my guy Nino and the Milk Box Clutch Russ. We are here with the Head to Head podcast. If you need a shirt, let my guy Russ know. These things are absolute fire. Military green ear. They are absolutely phenomenal. Uh, Hot to trot or squatty potty. And we got some good games here, right? We had a good week
Yeah.
last week. Some big dogs stepping up. It's OU Tech this week. So my man Nino didn't hesitate to put an OU player on his group. So I'm here for that. Uh, Always horns down here. But let's get right to it. Week 4. Where you at? Nino, let's hear you.
All right, I'll start it out. So right off the rip, defensive lineman that was just balling. That'd be Nick Bonito out of Denver. 4 tackles, 3 solo, 2.5 sacks. He had a forced fumble and 2 tackles for loss. He had 5 total pressures on the day. He was only out there for 67% of the snaps. He had 24.3 fantasy points. He's rostered in only 0.2% of leagues. But although it's all good, it's never all good in the hood. He did have a 50% missed tackle rate. So though he did get 24 plus points, something to monitor going forward. Now, this one hurts my soul a little bit because I honestly thought that when the injuries in the linebacker room of Philly happened and they went out and got Rashad Evans, he'd be a guy that stepped into this role. But unfortunately for him, fortunately for this gentleman, Nicholas Moreau came over from Chicago, 11 tackles, 10 solo, 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, a forced fumble. He had 4 total pressures. He had 9 run stops. He played 99% snap share. Listen, 39.3 fantasy points, 85.5 PFF grade. That's a dude, and he's only rostered in 10% of leagues. So he's obviously one of them guys I think Russ might have on his bye week banger that you have to check out for coming up soon. And then my last dude, he didn't get to play the beginning of the season, first couple games. It was injury, working him through it. Last 2 weeks, he's been balling. Last week, he had 11 tackles, 8 solo, 2 pass breakups. This week, Devin Witherspoon says, I got something better. 7 tackles, 6 solo, 2 sacks, PBU, a pick, and that pick was a pick 6. He had 2 tackles for loss, 3 run stops, 4 total pressures on the day. Kid's only rostered in 6.3 fantasy leagues, had 35.3 fantasy points, and a 90 PFF grade. Balling. What are you guys' thoughts?
Ball. Dude, here's the thing. Devin Witherspoon, we were at the draft, sitting there chilling, and I'm in the green room, or like Seahawks are up. I'm like, man, who's coming? You know,
Right.
who's about to be? And then you hear Devin Witherspoon call him like, you know what? That's a heck of a pick for them right now. But I'll tell you this. I did not see this day coming. Like, out of the woodwork. I mean, that dude didn't play week 1, right? Got his feet wet.
Yep.
And then this dude went absolute bonkers today. Or last night. So it was a phenomenal day for him. I was just absolutely blown away. Nick Bonito, obviously that's my Sooner. I'm here for it. Again, 50% missed tackle rate. I've got a squatty potty guy from this group from Denver. So I'm here for that 100%. Your other guy, Nicholas Morrow, I'm just absolutely shocked that you guys let me get him off the waiver wires. So I appreciate it.
I've been winning, so it's like I kind of don't know who to drop.
I've been doing this thing called play the 300 group. Score 300. I literally played 3 back-to-back weeks of guys with the high score or next to high score, and it was terrible for me. Then I got to play a cupcake this week. So there's that.
There you go.
Yeah, overall great, man. I love the list. Nicholas Morrow, is possible bye-week banger. Witherspoon, I wish I would have went with him instead of Sidney Brown because I just dropped him for another Oklahoma guy that is that is on the bye-week bangers for sure. But I'll go ahead and I'll kick it off, and I took some of the easy no-brainers, at least to kick it off with. Khalil Mack, defensive end, edge rusher, 4% rostered only, which is crazy that it's that low. 86% snap count, 8 solos, 2 assists, 6 sacks. Like, it looked like Derek Thomas off the edge over there. Like, the guy was all over the place. 2 forced fumbles, even got him a pass breakup, tackle for loss. The guy was just living in the backfield. Got about 30 fantasy points or more, depending on your scoring, and is just ridiculous. A guy I
What's
thought
the record? What's the record per game?
7.
I think
Ah,
seven.
all right.
Yeah.
7.
So yeah,
Derek Thomas.
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't ask me how I remember that. I just
Well,
do
your
not remember.
favorite player in the world. Oh no, your favorite player is Derek Brooks. That's right.
Derek Brooks, but Derek Thomas, dude, well, probably one of, I would argue, the
Kansas
greatest,
City, right?
yeah, the greatest Chief ever, probably in my opinion.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
And then going next, I thought a guy Nino might have grabbed, but Kyle Duggar. He's 7% rostered, 90% snap count, 12 solos, 3 assists. Got him a tackle for loss, and got around that 30 point for fantasy points. And a guy I picked up a few weeks ago, Quincy Williams. He's 23% rostered with a 96% snap count, 10 solos, 2 assists, 2 PBUs, 2 tackles for loss, and he got you about 35 plus for fantasy points. So
he's been on it, bro.
That guy, well,
it.
both of them, CJ Mosley and him.
Yeah.
It's tough usually to have 2 great linebackers.
I mean, that's what happens when your offense doesn't stay on the field. So
No. That doesn't work for this week. They
hey,
were better this week.
I will give you this, right? They made Wilson look like a dude this week.
He played
he had
well.
a pretty good series a couple of times.
Yeah, it was interesting. I'll be honest with you. I would love for him to play great for moving forward, right?
Yeah.
I would really love them to have a situation, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it was just a matter of, hey, just some days it clicks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's finally doing that. But, yeah, I'm with you. Quincy Williams absolutely balling. I mean, it's funny because his brother gets all the love, right? So
right, yeah, he does too.
And it's good to see him playing well. And I love CJ Mosley. He's the only good Alabama linebacker that I've seen consistently in the NFL in maybe ever. So
he does more than just tackle.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. He's been when that dude's healthy, he's a dude, absolute dude. So it's cool to see exactly what's going on. Obviously, Kyle Duggar.
I got a question
He's been
for you.
one of those guys. Yep.
Both you guys, and it's got to do with Kyle Duggar. And I'm a Patriots absolutely blow monkey bananas, but he's a free agent next year. Patriots don't pay players, okay? And even though he was drafted by the Patriots and grown at home, we saw the J.C. Jackson thing happen, right? And we just don't do it. They just don't. They don't give him the bag. Is he a guy that I think goes out there in the free agency and gets a bag from another team as a all around safety?
So here's where I would agree with you and disagree with you, because I'm going to give you a little thing. They don't pay defensive backs, i.e. cornerbacks. However, we have seen them give a bag to Chung,
Harrison,
Mobley,
McCourty.
I mean, they have given the bag, per se, to
Even
plenty of
Malloy.
safeties.
Yeah.
Lawyer Malloy, a phenomenal. They went and got him, right?
Yeah.
So they will go get a safety, especially a safety that's willing to play the box and have backup and is young. I think Kyle Duggar is a Patriot. I really think he stays a Patriot. However, they need a better linebacking core, right?
Defensive end now.
But here's the thing. This guy better be on your bye week banger, because if Josh Uche isn't on the bye week banger this week, we're gonna talk, because that dude is going to absolutely eat.
I hope so. He has.
As soon as he went down, what happened?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. Hey, let's talk about, before we get to my guys. Right, Dietrich Wise looks ripped. He looks ripped to me. I mean, he looked like he has turned that fat into pure muscle to me. When he put his arms up to block old boy, he did this. I was like, I'm not getting that dude's way. It's just not happening.
But he may be ripped, but he's not ripping apart the numbers this year, dude. He's regressed from last year.
To a point, I would tell you, I would agree with you, but he still had a pretty good week this week. He wouldn't have sacked, right? So
this was this week, and maybe he's starting to turn around. This week and last week were kind of the better two, but the first two.
So that's why I think Uche and him do this, because Judon, I mean, it's hard to get past him. Judon been balling since he became a Patriot. And I hate to say this, is he done?
That's my concern. That's a bicep, and it's not. It's like in the middle, the tear, right?
When it happened, we knew right. You could tell right away. You saw it pop, and you're like, "Yep,
right up,
that thing's gone." Yeah. Look, it's kind of like that Achilles pop. You know what I mean?
Yep. Ugh. Crawls up that.
Ugly.
I think curled right up back to the shoulder.
Yeah, keep pulling it down.
Yeah, kind of pull it down, stretch it out.
Let's get to my three. Leighton Vander Esch, been the up and down hero. This dude, when he came in, I was worried because of the neck surgery. Then he comes and has a monster rookie year, right? And then tell him, hey, we're not going to give you your fifth-year option. You've had some health issues. And that dude has been a model of consistency overall for the Cowboys overall. And it helps that they're just letting Parsons eat on the end. Dude had 7 total tackles, a fumble recovery, and a touchdown. And, he walked in. It was nothing. It was just a cakewalk for him. Yeah. And I'm going to say this for my next guy. And I planted the flag a long time ago when he was a rookie. We are about the pedigree, right? Antoine Winfield Jr. is the best safety in football. I'm just going to say it. I do not think anybody is better than Antoine Winfield Jr. And me and Nino said this early in the season, and Russ tried to argue with us because they switched his position finally. And we said, listen, if you were ever going to get a buy low position and absolutely win your league, it is grabbing Winfield Jr. now because he's going to have a monster year. Well, Sunday was no doubt about that. 9 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss. The quarterback hit a sack, pass deflection, forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Dude's a monster. Let's just put that out there. And thanks, Ross, for arguing with us because we were right. Now, I'll give you both these guys 98%. Understand, I'm going away from everybody else. The 30% chance, 2% guys. That's why they're the bye week bangers, and I get to plant flags, and that's what they do. Listen, I've been waiting for Mr. Consistency last year to break out, and 100% snap share, and only one person did that last year in more than 5 games, and it's Max Crosby. At 100% again this weekend. He had 2.5 sacks. He was Max Crosby. Yeah. 8 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 quarterback hits, and 2 sacks. And listen, the Raiders suck. Which means Max Crosby is just going to keep playing more. I really hope Tyree Wilson, shows up and starts playing well. People just getting, in trouble in Vegas, but one guy's not getting in trouble in Vegas is Crosby. I would argue he might even be the face of that franchise right now. So he's a beast. That's my 3. So I took the easy route today.
I'm with it. I like them all. I think they're all dogs, and they all should perform, and they perform. So I'm with it.
I was going to just add that they're 2 of the guys with Antoine Winfield Jr. and Crosby. Those are guys you put in high draft capital, so that feels good. And
it's crazy we say that, right? Because me and Nina were talking about Winfield Jr. just in one of our leagues just kept dropping, and we're like, "Are you?" We were texting, like, "Are you watching this?" Like, because if you don't get him, I'm going to get him. Right. So, and it's just crazy because and this is an all IDP group. He lasted to what, round 6 or 7?
Oh wow!
In all IDP draft.
Yeah, that's where I stole him from you.
Yeah, and I was not happy because it was crazy. An all IDP draft, round 7, 12 teams. Here comes, Nino's team's done, by the way. His team's ridiculous this year. I'm going from champ to chump this year, just so we're clear. So,
hey,
and I'm okay with it.
2. He's number 2 safety in the league right now, point wise. Yeah. Right behind a guy that I think we both talked about that was going to bubble in Dax Hill, and he's.
Hey, bro. Hey, I have him in every single league, every single one.
Hey,
I almost put him on this one. The only reason I didn't, I want to do 3 weeks in a row because Dax Hill, right now for me, has got to be the number 1 sophomore season. It's got to be Dax Hill. Absolute crazy year. He's stepping out. It's huge fan. Dax Hill's definitely my guy, and I've been on that train. Nino's been on the train. He's from Oklahoma, went to Michigan. I'm here for it. But man, he's doing exactly what we thought he would. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah, 100%. let's let me drop my turd burglars here, the squatty potties. Now, listen, I'm cool with this gentleman being talked about as being a top DB in the league. Okay, I'm not cool with Darius Slay going out and saying that he is DB number one. I don't know if Patrick Surtain II is the best DB in the NFL. And when you have weeks like this, I'm going to call you out. 3 tackles, 2 solo. Now, I know he's not a tackle guy, but he did it. 2 pass defenses, right? 2 run stops. Now, this is what I don't like. A penalty, and he was targeted 6 times, allowed 4 receptions for close to 60 yards. You can't be DB1 and give up higher than 65% reception rate. You just can't. Sauce ain't doing that. Sauce got called on a penalty that shouldn't even existed. I don't care what you say. He didn't hold the guy. As soon as the dude went into Sauce, Sauce moved his hand out and off his body. Like, it wasn't a hold. Referees got it wrong. They've been getting a lot of calls wrong this year. But that's for another day. Surtain, I'm a little concerned. I think he's a dude. I think that he can be a top DB, maybe DB, 1, but he's not right now. A guy I had high hopes for. He was coming into a great situation. I understand the last couple of years, linebackers out in Pittsburgh, it's been a big jumbled mess, right, in fantasy for those guys because Watt and Minka usually eat up most of those points. But I thought Cole Holcomb, coming out of Washington where he was just a tackling machine, kept putting up points every week. He was healthy now in a prime role where he didn't have to be the main dude. And he goes and drops a 7 tackle, 4 solo tackles game. 1 pressure, 8.3 fantasy points. And this is where it gets ugly. A 48.2 PFF cover grade. That's gross. And a 60.2 overall PFF grade. He's rostered in 89% of leagues. He should have been on your bench this week. And that hurts a lot. And then the last gentleman, I've been surprised by him all year. And I said it to you multiple times this year. I didn't expect this guy to be that dominant on the line. I didn't expect him to have a game like this. This is what I expected out of Mike Dana for Kansas City. 4 tackles, 2 solo. He had a pass breakup. You're a lineman. You had 2 pressures all game. You didn't do your job. You had 2 run stops all game. You're a lineman. You didn't do your job. You ended up with 6 total fantasy points. Once again, you're on the squatty pie list because you didn't do your job. What are your thoughts here, fellas?
Yeah, the Cole Holcomb one, man, that I'm with you. That one really hurt my heart a little bit. I've been kind of a big fan for him, and then I thought a little bit of the changeover would help, but there's something to be said about some defensive philosophy that it don't matter who's in that spot almost. Guys ain't putting up the numbers you thought they were, so it's a shame.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one 100%. Get in my face. He's wanting to know if I was going to talk about it or not. Patrick Surtain, listen, I ain't really been on the train ever since CeeDee Lamb cooked that dude in the playoffs in college for 9 receptions. So, listen, I ain't been on the train. Like,
you can't be locked down if you get cooked.
Like, listen, you get not if you're the dude, right? And I would argue CeeDee Lamb's gotten better in the pros than he was in college, and he was good in college, but he's gotten better. In college, he got cooked for 9 receptions in 1 game in the playoffs, and they were losing in that game. But 9 receptions is ridiculous. Just sorry, Pat, but I was done then. So, but I mean, I think he's overall a decent guy. I just don't think he's the dude. So I'm kind of with you. I mean, he can stay there. He might be there all year. Let's get right to Notebox.
All right, a guy.
I don't want to talk about Holcomb because my guy's worse. So.
Well, this is a guy I wasn't really a big fan of last year. I thought he was going to be a one-hit wonder type guy, but he ended up being pretty solid for you. Frankie Louvu, linebacker for the Panthers. He's 34% rostered, 100% snap count. Got you 1 solo and 4 assists.
Oh.
And there's also he'd been dealing with a possible hip injury, so that might have played a little bit of a factor there. Another guy that I was high on for this season because I didn't believe in the linebackers in Cleveland, and I thought Grant Delpit would be able to do a little bit of something. He's 12% rostered, 100% snap count, 3 solos, 2 assists. That was about 8 fantasy points. That's not going to get the job done. And then I'll go ahead and round it out because it's been a rough weekend. Big Huskers getting their asses pushed in from Michigan. Levante David, 14% rostered, 100% snap count, 5 assists. He didn't get a solo. That is not good. Just like Saturday wasn't good, but things are going to start looking up here in the near future. So,
hey, Milkbox, I hate to be the guy that says, I told you so. But you asked me, who's winning this game? And I said, Nebraska's getting smoked. Michigan's putting up 35, and they might only put up 10. What was the score?
With that being said, I thought it was funny. Will Compton wanted to take a bet, and he wanted 20 points, and they almost beat him double that. So I asked Luan if he owes you $2,000 because he made $1,000 bet.
Yeah, I listen. That program right now, Rule will figure it out.
Their offensive line's trash, man. Our offensive
Who's their running back now? What happened to Gabe? Is he hurt?
Our quarterback's our running back, dude. We don't have a true running back stud.
You attempted 6 passes.
Yeah,
6.
well, I know I was there.
6
passes. Every damn play, baby. Our best running back was a receiver that came in to play running back.
He had one play for a touchdown, right? Like, come on, man.
Came out of nowhere.
Where was
Gabe? But that was against third string defense of the Michigan too, so let's not get it twisted.
Right, but where's Gabe Irwin? Where was he? Is he hurt?
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is there with some of that. I mean, I don't know. It does suck that we had a couple running backs go down right away, but
just like the guys in the squatty potty, man. They went down right away. Boomer, give us your turd burglars real quick.
All right, listen. We talked about Cole Holcomb. Let's get to Quan Alexander. Everybody's like, "Oh, Quan got added. Let's go get him. He has a good week. He's the dude." Listen, the guy had 4 tackles and 3 assists, so there's
that.
It was terrible. So, Quan Alexander. Listen, he was solid when he was younger. It's time to hang him up. All right, throw the cleats over the power line. It's time, buddy. It's time to go. Nick Bonito had a great day for Denver. However, the guy they paid all this money in, Randy Gregory, ain't done diddly. So
he didn't even do diddly for our program. So I agree with
you.
Get him out of there.
Hey, he smoked plenty of weed at the Huskers. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Hey, maybe him and who was the tight end from Eric? Oh shoot, I can't remember. It was from Georgia, transferred into Nebraska. It was stealing vapes. Him and Randy Gregory. They need to do.
That just
Eric Gilbert.
There you
Eric
go.
Gilbert,
there you go. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
We two need to make a podcast together. It'd be a great thing. They could call it a 20 vape or some shit. I don't know.
Something. I mean, it's not been good. I mean, been a bad move. Good for Dallas to move on from him because man, he had 1 game last year. So is that. Let's go with a guy that everybody really thought was going to have a great year. Logan Wilson. Yeah. Another 4 total tackle game. Roster 100%.
Yeah.
And Jermaine Pratt's eating his lunch every single game. Pratt's finally playing to what we really thought he was going to be. And Logan Wilson is sleeping, literally. I mean, he looks like he's lost out there. I can't explain it. I mean, when he first came out as a rookie and he was having like a 40-point game here and there, 2 interceptions, 10 tackles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This dude looks like it's over. Like I don't know what happened. Maybe he started a diet and that was don't eat at all. Is what it is.
I'm on a non-seafood diet.
That dude ain't eating at all. And I'm talking about on the football field because that is not happening.
Yeah, I don't get it. I just don't get it at all. Like he was 100 tackle dude, and for a team that's on defense a lot,
yeah, especially now,
he ain't doing nothing.
Dude, let's talk. The Bengals are just horrendous. It is tough, and And maybe I don't know, maybe they're playing possum. I have no idea. They're going to have to go on this run. Who was that team? Was it San Francisco that went on like the 8 or 10 game run
With
after like
Purdy, with
going
Purdy
0 and
came-
5?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I have a feeling. I mean, because the talent is there.
Yeah.
So I don't know that. I don't know what's going on in
Have we
Cincinnati.
seen the first hiccup in the Jamar Chase Joe Burrow marriage? I'm open. I'm always open.
Yeah, I mean, but it is the first chink in the arm. I mean, that's
Right.
really what it is.
Yeah,
Because they've been boys from the get. So,
But he
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about him good before that. He was like, Joe just going through some things. I haven't seen him go through anything like this except for when he had the knee injury or whatever it was, right? And then they asked him, like, you feel like you haven't had enough time to get open? And the first thing he goes, I'm open. I'm always open. I was like, oh.
I mean,
oh,
you know
okay.
what the rumor is? The rumor is that Joe Burrow got rejected by Taylor Swift. So,
Must have wanted somebody taller, huh?
hey, what? Cincinnati's always losing to Kansas City. What I gotta say?
Hey, not every Cincinnati guy got a Pfizer guy with him, Mr. Pfizer.
Hey, it's been a great one. Look out for the bye week bangers this week. 3 and outs. We are going to get them done. I promise you, we're here for it. Go follow CFB Nation, FFB Nation. We're here for it. Climbing every single day. We're over 5,000. Congrats to my guys that are absolutely crushing over there. Hit 1 million views on Warren Sapp, I believe.
Yes.
The other day. So absolutely phenomenal. Keep trucking. And until next week, let's go.